And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Welcome to the Dice Tower. Today we're going to review Catching Fire.
Seeds of Rebellion. This is based on the second book in the Hunger series, which neither one of us has read. In fact, I don't think neither of us has read the first book, but we watched the first movie. So we know a little bit about the Hunger Games, and I played the Wizkids' other Hunger Games. This is made by Wizkids. This is a game that's designed for the mass market. Like I saw their first one at Best Buy and all different stores. So this is the second one, in which case, in this one, you were providing supplies to the rebellion. Let's take a look at how it plays. In this game, you're trying to set up secret bases throughout the land. There are 12 districts here as well as the capital. You'll have secret bases of your color. These are very small tokens, and what you're trying to do is establish them in as many areas as you can. But you're also trying, at the beginning of the game, you'll get 2 strategic objective cards, and these cards will show you at the end of the game where you'll get bonus points if you have a base in these areas. It is possible to have a card that shows the same district on 2 different cards, so then if you have a base in that area, you'll get double points at the end of the game. So how do you get bases in these areas? Well, the game will start with mission objectives on the board, depending on how many players. So here in a 4-player game, we have 6 of these on the board. Each objective shows you what resource that district wants. So here in District 10, they want a food, basically, and then how much of it they want. So they want 6 food in District 10, while over here in District 9, they want 6 of the brown token supplies. Up here, they want 2 brown and 2 orange. And so what you're going to be doing is delivering these supplies. So on your turn, you have one of 2 options. One of your options is simply draw a card in your hand. Now, when you draw a card, you'll be drawing from one of the 3 face-up cards or from the stack of cards. When most of these cards, or actually all of these cards, have the different resources on them, and each one has 2 resources on it. So it might be 2 of the same, or it might be 2 different resources. It's up to you. And so you will draw and put these cards in your hand. You do have a hand limit of 13 cards. Or you can discard cards from your hand. So if I have 6 of these resources in my hand, and remember, a double resource would count for 2, I can discard those on my turn and take this tile. When I take this tile, I'm going to place it face down in front of me. At the end of the game, it's going to be worth some reputation points down there at the bottom. You'll see it's worth 5. Some cards have additional bonuses. For example, here, this one shows 2 card icons on it. So I would get to draw 2 cards when I accomplish this one. If a region shows 2, you need to do both of those at the same time. So here I would need to discard cards that had 2 brown resources and 2 orange resources on them. And then I would get both tokens. And so that's what players are going to be doing. Other cards over here, like for example, this 6 of the brown resource shows some peacekeeper tokens on it. Shows 2 of them. What that means is you're going to take 2 of the tokens from the peacekeeper, the capital here, and move them to whatever region you want to move them to. So when I move them to a region, that region's going to have the cost of resources will have 1 added to it. So instead of spending 3 food to accomplish this mission, I would need to do 4. Or in this case, I would need to do 5, and so forth. If there's 2 spots, 2 different things that are needed in a region, here I would, instead of needing 2 brown and 2 orange, I'd need 3 brown and 3 orange. So that can be annoying. When you accomplish a mission, you'll draw some more missions from this pile and put them on the board to take its place. Now, down here in the bottom, if you have accomplished missions for a certain type, let's say I've accomplished 3 food missions, I will show those 3 food mission tokens to everybody that I've accomplished, and then I will take this and keep this as now worth some extra victory points at the end of the game. So they're all 3 of different ones or 1 of each. So the first person to accomplish those will get those. The game is over when it's time to put out another mission token, and there isn't any, or when somebody gets all their bases on the board. You get to place a base every time you accomplish a mission. If you accomplish 2 missions at the same time, you get to place 2 bases. At the end of the game, you're going to get points for the mission tiles that you've accomplished, for these bonus tiles, for any base that you've established where your strategic objective cards are, and you will add all those together, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Alright, so that's how you play Catching Fire. What do we think of it? I'm going to let Melody go first. What do you think of this game?
I think this game is really simple. All you gotta do is just get your cards and try to get the cards that you want.
I guess there's some strategy where you move the peacekeepers.
Yeah.
So that,
Because everything else is kind of random, like what card you pick and where the area is.
Well, you can decide to maybe get all of one color and hope that that color shows up so you can be prepared for it. But the game is very simple, like you said. Now, do you like it?
It was okay.
Okay. Is there anything you didn't like? You just thought it was too simple?
Yeah, and also the areas where I barely ever got to sing in my area, so like I said, randomness.
Well, no, the stuff shows up in every area, but you're right. Especially the games that we played had more players, and I played with some with smaller players, and it's better that way. I think this is not 6 players is just a little too much for this game. It's possible, but there's a lot less control over the game. I think 3 or 4 is really best with it. Now, I think of this game as a introductory game, and in that regard, I think it works really well. For people who've never played these type of games before, this one is a fantastic one to introduce them. This is a lot like Ticket to Ride. I thought. In Ticket to Ride, you draw train cards and you complete routes. Well, this one you're drawing, and you have secret routes that you're trying to connect. In this one, you're drawing cards, delivering goods, and you have secret areas where you want to deliver goods to. This one, you draw one card. It's very simple. You're not really blocking anyone else, although you can take the missions that they want. So I think in that way it works really well. My only negative thing about the game is that I thought it was too small. Everything was tiny. I could barely see some of the icons.
That's true.
But for me, take it at the level the game is intended. I think it does an excellent job. Is this a game Melody and I are ever going to really want to play together? Probably not, because we're advanced past this point in gaming. But if I want to teach some people who play games who've never played games before, and they like the Hunger Games, then this is dead on, because this is a game that will get them in, playing games. So my final thoughts are, it's good, especially when you take into account the intended audience. Your final thoughts?
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. And that is Catching Fire. How can you catch fire anyway? Maybe it means catch on fire? That'd be kind of painful.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.
Shut the door!
There.